2015 Chambers Annual Meeting. I'm Marty Bushy. I'm a partner in the law firm of Manchester, Newman and Bennett, and I am the chairperson of the Regional Chamber this year. Today's event is a time for the Chamber Board and staff to come together to celebrate our organization and our community, to talk about our goals, our accomplishments, and to thank our membership for their commitment to the Chamber and their dedication. We can look back on 2014 as yet another year that meant great success for both the Regional Chamber and for our Valley. We recapture some of these highlights in your annual report, which you should have found at your seat. You may have noticed that the theme of the report focuses on the word spotlight. You're going to read on these pages how each of the Chamber's divisions has shined light on new and existing businesses, the talents of our members, and what we have achieved collectively as a Valley. This afternoon, we will also shine a spotlight on 3 dedicated gentlemen seated at the head table who we will be honoring with awards for their efforts, their passion in the community, and their contributions. And the longtime president and CEO of the Regional Chamber will spend some time looking back on 2014 and will give us some insight into what the Chamber is looking towards in 2015 and beyond. One of the definitions of the word spotlight is something that illuminates brilliantly. Because of the Regional Chamber's efforts, because of our partners and our friends, our 3 award recipients, and our members, and because of all of you, Youngstown, Warren, Ohio is that spotlight, and we continue to draw attention from all over the world. To officially kick off our luncheon, I would like to introduce those seating at the head table. From your left, we have somebody's out of order. Okay, I am so sorry. Kevin Helmick, CEO and President of Farmers National Bank, our luncheon sponsor. Scott Missiskia, Director of Northern Ohio Sales at Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, our award presentation sponsor. Tom Humphreys, President and CEO of the Regional Chamber. Pete Asimakopoulos, Executive Vice President, Small Business Banking and Youngstown Market President at First National Bank, and also immediate past chairman of the Chamber. We then have Alan Wanger. Oh, I am sorry. I apologize. Sorry. Alan Wanger of Harrington, Hoppy and Mitchell, our 2015 Donald Cahiga Spirit of the Chamber Award recipient. Ohio State Representative Sean O'Brien, our 2015 Chairwoman's Political Achievement Award recipient, and Mark Bo Pellini, our 2015 William G. Leiden Jr. Spirit of the Valley Award recipient. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of our partnerships with Farmers National Bank and Anthem as we host this event. We are fortunate that these businesses continually support the Chamber and its initiatives, and we appreciate the generosity that allows us to bring you such top-notch programs. We are glad to welcome back Farmers National Bank to our annual meeting. They have sponsored this event for the past several years, and we appreciate their leadership in the community and continued participation in our programs. Please welcome Mr. Kevin Helmick, President and CEO, and a member of our Board of Directors.
Well, thanks, Marty, and thanks also to the Chamber for putting together another great program for us today. Tom and his team continue to do a great job creating economic opportunities in the Mahoning Valley and connecting businesses together so we can all prosper. I'd like to take a moment and just recognize Tom and his team at the Chamber with a round of applause for another great year. Farmers is happy to sponsor today's awards, and we congratulate all of our deserving recipients. Immediate past Chair Pete Simakopoulos, Attorney Alan Wenger, Representative Sean O'Brien, and Coach Pellini. Congratulations to all four. It's a very exciting time in the Mahoning Valley, and the leadership here is as strong as ever. We have a lot to be proud of. As a community bank, it's very fitting that Farmers should be here to support and recognize these 2015 award recipients that make such a significant contribution to our local economy. At Farmers, we also have a focus on the local business community and all of our business professionals. It's our philosophy to deploy capital into the local economy through small businesses to create such a meaningful impact in our community through their philanthropy and by providing jobs to our friends and neighbors. Farmers is also excited to be entering a new era in our life with the recent announcement of a merger with First National Bank of Orville. This strategic merger will enable Farmers to expand our reach into Wayne and Medina counties and increase our lending capabilities throughout our entire footprint. We're very excited to enhance our mortgage and commercial lending functions as well as create a strong presence in agricultural lending. This merger creates a leading Northeast Ohio community banking franchise with scale, profitability, and enhanced growth potential, with diversity of revenue by our in-depth wealth management offerings such as trust, investments, and insurance. We will be the third largest community bank by asset size headquartered in Northeast Ohio with 33 branches and $1.7 billion in assets. Farmers prides itself on having a strong regional presence and brand recognition with outstanding customer service and clear vision to accomplish great things for the communities in which we serve. We would like to think we too are part of why the Mahoning Valley is such a great place to live and work. So once again, I'd like to congratulate all of the individuals for being honored today, and congratulations once again to the Chamber for another great year of community and economic development. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, and to Farmers again for sponsoring this event. We're going to call an anthem in just a few minutes, but before we move on, I do want to recognize and welcome several additional sponsors and to thank them for their gracious support for this annual meeting. Our partner sponsors are the Eastwood Mall Complex, Hill Barth and King, Home Savings, Huntington Bank, Mercy Health, Southwoods Health, and VEC Corporation, or Incorporated, excuse me. And our patron sponsors are Gas Search LLC, Shepherd of the Valley Lutheran Retirement Services, and Valley Care Health Systems of Ohio. Thank you again for your commitment and for your support of the event today. Now, before we begin our award celebration, it is my distinct honor to present one very special award first. And on behalf of the Regional Chamber's Board of Directors and staff, Pete Simakopoulos completed his term as our board chairman at the close of 2014 and will complete 10 years with the Board of Directors this year. We want to thank him today for his longtime service and commitment to the team. Pete has been engaged with this organization in so many ways and is always among the first to champion initiatives and to make us stronger as a region, and to thank the Chamber staff for a job well done. Pete, of course, commits his time and efforts to numerous organizations and causes in the Valley, and you often hear his peers praising not only his leadership, but his involvement in the community. In addition, everyone is aware of his complete genuineness also. I have developed an enormous appreciation for Pete just working with him on the Chamber board these last several years. He is a true professional. He's truly dedicated to everything involved in this community, and we have been very fortunate to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in applauding Pete Simakopoulos for his exceptional service and dedication to the Regional Chamber.
afternoon, everyone. Marty, Tom, thank you very much. Marty, thank you for those kind words. Congratulations to Alan, Sean, and Coach for all you do for the community. We certainly appreciate it. It has truly been an honor and a privilege for me to be a board member, as Marty said, for the last 10 years and most recently chair. I do want to thank our past and our current board and our executive committee for all of their support. This board has always been very engaged and driven and had really one mission, and that's to move the Valley forward. I also want to thank Tom Humphreys and the entire Chamber staff. You know, I travel the footprint for First National Bank of Pennsylvania, and I'm very sincere when I say this is the finest chamber that I've come across. The staff does a phenomenal job in terms of member services, government affairs, and economic development. And Tom's a tireless worker for this community. I get to see it every day in his coming and going. We're in the same building. How early he starts, how late he stays. And there are so many things that he does that this community doesn't realize that he's behind. So with the staff and the chamber and Tom and the board, we only have one direction to go, and that's forward. I'm going to leave everybody with a quote, and this is one of my favorite quotes. It's very simple. It's from Michael Jordan. Some people want it to happen. Some people wish it would happen. Other people make it happen. This is an organization and a community that makes it happen. I thank you again. I'm honored to have been part of it for the last decade. If we continue to inspire each other and be cheerleaders and accentuate the positives, I'm convinced the best is yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pete. We look forward to continuing to work with you on the Chamber Board and in other ways in the community. I would now like to call on Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to introduce our annual award recipients. 2015 marks the 15th year that Anthem has sponsored this event, and we really do appreciate their longtime commitment and partnership. Please welcome for remarks and the presentation of awards, Mr. Scott Missiskia.
Thank you, Marty. And on behalf of Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, our team sitting here in the front row, and all 3,000 employees across the state of Ohio, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here. I had 13, so thank you for correcting me. Proud to be a sponsor of the Youngstown Chamber, and specifically this luncheon for 15 years. So we gained 2 years out of that introduction, so I appreciate that. Additionally, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our broker partners who are in the room, and most importantly, our valued clients. Both those receiving awards and those not receiving awards today. Honoring the achievements are the reason we're here, and again, we're proud to be part of this special occasion. We'll now begin the special part of our program, the presentation of the William G. Leighton Jr. Spirit of the Valley Award, Donald Cahigas Spirit of the Chamber Award, and the Chairwoman's Political Achievement Award. The Spirit of the Valley Award is presented to an individual who has displayed exemplary leadership and commitment to the community, economic development, and the overall progress of the Valley. Our recipient grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, stepped in the tradition of excellence that is known as Cardinal Mooney High School football. Everyone in this room knows that Friday nights during football season in the Valley are sacred. Rivalries are fierce, fans are crazy, and most importantly, everyone wants a winning team. As a quarterback for Mooney in the 1980s, that's what Mark Bo Pelini helped the team do. It was no surprise he continued to play football at The Ohio State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in business marketing and a master's degree in sports administration, and went on to build an impressive coaching career in the NFL and the Big Ten. And it's no surprise that he returned to the Valley 4 months ago with some of the most impressive credentials in college football. The new head football coach at Youngstown State University spent the past 7 years as head coach at the University of Nebraska, guiding the program to a 67-27 record and 4 divisional titles. His 67 wins trail only 2 others on the university's wins list, and Nebraska was one of the 3 schools to win at least 9 games in each of the past 6 seasons. Coach Pelini spent 21 years on the sidelines at the collegiate level as well as with the NFL. Altogether, he's coached in 12 bowl games, 11 NFL football playoff games, and 6 conference title contests. So what does that mean for the Valley? Well, YSU championship, of course. I don't know what else we could say. But really, it means pride. Bo Pelini is one of us. He could have been our next-door neighbor, the kid you went to school with. He grew up, like so many of us did in the Valley, knowing the value of hard work and earning what you have. We're proud that he has come home, and he will give and teach what was given and taught to him. Coach Pelini's return means excitement. The community has just celebrated Jim Tressel's return as YSU's president when rumors of Bo's return began later in the year. When the official announcement came, the media reported that fans were already calling for season tickets to the game. Ultimately, the coach's return means yet another reason for the nation to turn its attention to our Valley. As we mentioned, the theme of Spotlight earlier in the program, Coach Pelini has truly carried the spirit of our Valley with him anywhere he has ever been. No one had to ask where he was from. They already knew because he attributed his success to Youngstown. He's returned to the Valley with that same spirit, and we couldn't be happier to welcome him home with wife Mary Pat, son Patrick, and daughters Kate and Carolyn, and know our Valley will be out full force to support you this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to present the 2015 Spirit of the Valley Award to Coach Bo Pelini.
Tickled your hair. Thanks, Marty. Maybe a picture of you right there, if that's all right.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it, Scott. Thanks for the kind words. And, we just started practice. We actually have our second spring practice here in a couple hours. That's why I apologize. I'm going to have to get out of here after I accept the award. But it's really an honor to be back here in this community. And, I was just saying, we were just talking about it. It's been really almost 30 years since I lived here. Since I graduated high school, I really haven't lived here full time. I obviously come back all the time. I have family and friends in the area, but I've been very fortunate since I graduated high school and really graduated college, left the state, and have had great opportunities in the coaching profession, and been associated with a lot of great people. Some tremendous coaches that helped shape me as a coach. And I was just getting interviewed the other day by a guy from the USA Today, and he said, well, what made the greatest impact on you as a coach, as far as in your development as a coach? And, he was referring to the Pete Carrolls, the George Seiferts, Ray Rhodes, all the, tremendous guys I had the opportunity to coach with at a young age. But really what I went back to was my mother, my father, my coach, my high school coaches, my grade school coaches, my friends, my family, the people I associated with in this valley, in Youngstown, in growing up, because that's where the foundation is laid. And the work ethic that you learn, the discipline, the things that really shape the people of this valley. And, you have to live away from here for a while to really appreciate what Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley is, because you see, that's not taken away from. I've lived coast to coast. I've lived east, west, south. I've done it. I've been all over the country, fortunately and unfortunately. But you come to appreciate what you were exposed to growing up, and how fortunate that I was in my childhood. and allowing me really the opportunities that I've been very, very fortunate to have experienced in my professional life and as a coach. And so when we kind of came to a crossroads, and my wife and I, who's also from the area, sat down and we're trying to decide, what's next for us. And, just like everybody else in this valley, our number one priority is our family, the kids. And at the end of the day, it was, not as much where do I want to work, but where do I want my kids to live? And that made it a real easy choice. I mean, very fortunate for me. It was like the stars lined up that there was an opportunity. There was a job open at Youngstown, and was able to make contact and see if it really made sense for both of us. But I knew for me, what was really appealed to me was that was where I wanted my kids to go to school, where I wanted to see my kids graduate high school and grow up and be able to call home. And I've been proud, will forever be proud to be able to call this home. And I know it was the best thing for my kids. I knew you always want to go for a known situation. And there was no doubt it was the right situation for myself, my wife, and my kids. And to be able to come back here, and this valley and the people of Youngstown and all the experiences I've had growing up here has done so much for me. I just think it's an honor for me to be able to come back into this community and hopefully have a chance to give back to all of you and to the valley and to the things that really allowed me to have the opportunities that myself, my family have been able to experience. Because without without being able to grow up in this area, that wouldn't have happened for me. So, and I'm very confident that there's a reason when you look at the coaching profession and you see the amount of guys that have come out of this area who have had great success in coaching. It's not because all of a sudden somebody waved a magic wand and they understood football better than a lot of other people. It comes down to like in all the professions you are in, it comes down to work ethic, it comes down to discipline, it comes down to doing things the right way, and the competition, the will to compete on a daily basis, and that's ingrained in you, and that's ingrained in people of this valley. The things that we've fought through and continue to fight for to make this place a great place to live and a great place to call home is what makes it special. Now it's up to me. That's what I'm going to try to bring to you as the head football coach at Youngstown State. That we're going to work day and night to try to give you the product that you deserve. To have kids that are going to come out and fight tooth and nail on Saturdays every week. And at the end of the day, represent this valley the way it deserves to be represented. And that's what I'm committed to doing. That's what our football team, my staff, we're all going to work together to try to do everything we possibly can to make that happen. So my job has just begun. I just started and just trying to familiarize myself with the team and where we are right now. And at the end of the day, finish this spring and lay a foundation that's going to lead us into the fall and hopefully, lead us to a championship in the very near future. That's what I'm committed to doing, and that's why I came back here. Like I said, it is great to be back home. I'm excited, and I look forward to a lot of years here, and I appreciate the award, and thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach Pelini, and again, we're all excited for the upcoming football season. Hopefully check back with you at the Chamber Salute to Breakfast, Business Breakfast in August for a preview. And we know, as you mentioned, you need to run, so we again appreciate you joining us and taking the time out of your schedule. So thank you. Our next award we will call the Donald Cahigas Spirit of the Chamber Award, and it is presented to an individual for exceptional dedication, commitment, and accomplishments on behalf of the Regional Chamber. Our recipient worked tirelessly in 2014 with the Chamber's team, particularly former Vice President of Government Affairs Tony Paglia, on legislative issues, including one that would have had a very real implications on our workforce. Attorney Alan Wanger of Harrington, Hoppy, and Mitchell distinguished himself as an expert in oil and gas law and regulations at a time when the Valley business community and landowners were dealing with shale development for the first time in our history. He counseled landowners, including landowner groups, on issues relating to leasing, pipelines, and other oil and gas development matters, and had written and presented extensively on the issues. When the Chamber organized a group of community, government, labor, and business leaders known as the Mahoning Valley Coalition for Job Growth and Investment in 2013, Attorney Wenger accepted the invitation and request to be a member of the group. The coalition formed to promote shale development and oppose efforts to pass an anti-business, job-killing community Bill of Rights in Youngstown. Our recipient not only became a member, but also one of the main voices opposing the referendum on the airwaves, in the press, and at public meetings. His logical and informed reasons why the so-called Bill of Rights could create an economic and legal quagmire for Youngstown helped in the ultimate defeat of the referendum 4 consecutive times, and for that, we are grateful to Attorney Wenger. The graduate of the Case Western Reserve University Law School leads the oil and gas practice at Harrington, Hoppy, and Mitchell, which has offices in Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and St. Clairsville. He also chairs the firm's Business and Employment Law Group and has served as chair of its management committee. Attorney Wenger has served many years as a school board and zoning board member and on boards of various charitable and community organizations. He currently serves on the board of the United Way of Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley, and he is active with the National Association of Royalty Owners and the Energy and Mineral Law Foundation. In 2013, he received the Mahoning County Bar Associates Distinguished Service Award. The North Lima resident and wife Marilyn have 2 children, Sarah, who is the program manager at Eastgate Regional Council of Governments in Youngstown, and David, who lives in Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present the 2015 Spirit of the Chamber Award to Attorney Alan Wenger.
Get you to turn around for a picture. Get you to turn around here.
Thank you. Thank you, Chamber, for this wonderful award. And it's humbling to be associated with Don Cahigas, whom I've known and respected my whole career, and really exemplifies the spirit of the Valley. My public interest efforts as a lawyer are based on my many years of practicing law with Harrington, Hoppy, and Mitchell. My law firm encourages its lawyers to become involved in community issues and causes, and to inform and educate the public on matters involving the law. We have attempted to do that for landowners during the recent oil and gas rush. Our firm has also shown its commitment to our communities by keeping main offices in the downtowns of Warren and Youngstown for literally centuries, and through thick and sometimes very thin times. And I began my practice in 1977, just shortly before Black Monday was announced. And it's been very gratifying to see the cycle coming back in our downtowns, our vibrant, exciting downtowns, and our local economic resurgence. There are Beatles lyrics that go, "He's as blind as he can be, just sees what he wants to see." And we do, of course, tend to listen for what we agree with and lend a deaf ear to most everything else. And we tend to see anything we agree with to be true and denigrate and dismiss anything else. And nowhere is this more evident than in the oil and gas and fracking debate, into which I have often found myself inserted. The debate has raised undeniable truths and concerns that all sides need to consider and address, and not just dismiss and ridicule and deny. There remain many things that are unknown, and neither side to the debate has a lock on the truth. In local charter amendment efforts, I have tried, or I have had many occasions to, over 4 election cycles, to confront the proponents. And while the charter amendment itself was very much ill-founded, as Ohio courts have recently consistently confirmed, I do respect and appreciate the heartfelt, public-spirited concerns of many of the folks that were involved. And we cannot deny that some of the concerns that they have been advancing have been proven to be very legitimate. I hope that all sides to this important issue can learn to listen more to each other, look to objective science and empirical evidence, and keep in mind the long-term impacts of these new technologies and developments, and not just short-term financial gain and political gain. Thank you again.
Thank you again, Attorney Wanger, for all of your hard work. The Chamber could not have accomplished its goals without your help last year, and we're looking forward to working with you down the road. Our final award of the afternoon is the Chairwoman's Award for Political Achievement. This award is designed to recognize a Mahoning Valley elected official for outstanding accomplishments that demonstrate his or her vision, innovation, and commitment to excellence. Today, we are honored to present this award to an elected official who has built his career around helping to improve the quality of life in his home county. State Representative Sean O'Brien is currently serving his second term with the Ohio House and represents the 63rd District, comprising the southeastern portion of Trumbull County. Representative O'Brien is a ranking member of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee and Agriculture Development and Natural Resources Finance and Appropriations Committee, and a member of the Agricultural and Rural Development and Public Utilities Committees. He has worked closely with the Chamber over the years to advance economic development in the Valley, partnering to host several events to educate government officials, business leaders, and the public about the positive effects of shale development in Ohio, particularly in growing jobs in the oil and gas supply chain. He has led the fight to promote government and business collaboration and cooperation, is a great advocate for our region in Columbus, where he is respected by both Democrats and Republicans alike. Representative O'Brien has participated in important chamber initiatives, such as the creation of the Military Affairs Commission to protect the Youngstown Air Reserve Station, Route 422 Corridor Project, and working with communities and nonprofits to improve project applications submitted for the state's capital budget. Representative O'Brien sits on the Youngstown Air Base Council, as well as the boards of Someplace Safe and Inspiring Minds. He's especially dedicated to being a strong advocate for children and has served as a lecturer for Someplace Safe, local police departments, teen intervention programs, and the Ohio State Patrol. And he has worked as a guardian ad litem to represent the best interest of the area's children. He founded the Trumbull County Community Foundation, which distributed more than $50,000 to local charities in its first year for seniors and children in need, as well as for local economic development. The former chief criminal prosecutor for Eastern and Central Ohio District Courts and member of the Domestic Violence and OVI Task Force was recently recognized as the 2014 Public Official of the Year by Clean Fuels Ohio for his support of a state legislation to provide incentives for the use of compressed natural gas in cars and trucks on all of Ohio roads. The Bezetta Township President holds a bachelor's degree from Edinburgh University and a Juris Doctorate from the University of Akron. He and his wife Maria have 2 daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing Ohio State Representative Sean O'Brien as our 2015 Political Achievement Award recipient.
Picture of you, if we could, please. Well, thank you. I'm very humbled to be here and to receive this award, and I want to thank the Chamber for selecting me in this, and I really want to take this time to say thank you. I don't want to accept this award for myself, but really it's a team that comes together that really helps you out. And I've really realized that now, being elected, I'm in my third term, and I really want to thank some people, and I want to start with my core team, my wife and my two daughters, Maria, who have been there. And it's, you know, when you're down in Columbus and you're not home and the pipes break or something has happened and the basement floods and you're getting a call and it's up to your wife to take care of it, I really want to thank them. And they've been great campaigners. I don't know if they go door to door for me because they want me out of the house or because they really, really appreciate what we do, but I couldn't do it without them. I also want to thank my mother and father who are here. Coach talked about foundation and family, and it's the lessons we learned, and it's the lessons really we learned at home and from our family. And the lessons I learned really have helped me to develop into a better person and a better legislator. So to my parents, I say thank you. And to my Uncle Paul and Aunt Tina who are here. It's funny, down in Columbus, everybody knows Uncle Paul as Uncle Paul. And so I'll be talking to the governor, and the governor will say, well, can't we get Uncle Paul involved in this? And can Uncle Paul do this? And it's kind of funny to hear the governor or the EPA director talk about Uncle Paul the way he does. And I want to thank my campaign manager who is here, Mr. Glenn Holmes. He is the mayor of McDonald. And Glenn has been more than a friend. He's been a mentor, and he's really helped me develop into the politician I think politicians should be. And I think that's one of the main things that has really been important is to look at not partisan, and it's not dogma of Democrat or Republican. It's really looking at what's right and wrong. And I wanted to tell the story. I don't know if you read the Columbus Dispatch this last week, but this whole week we've been in a contentious unitization bill. I'm sure Attorney Wagner over there is well aware of what's going on. But it finally passed, and it passed because we worked together in a bipartisan way. And we worked with Democrats, Republicans, we got oil and gas, and the environmentalists all to come together. And it was truly remarkable. And I want to tell the story that happened to me last week. I was at the Ohio Oil and Gas Association, and I was one of the speakers. There were 4 of us. I was the only Democrat. And afterwards, we went to a room a little bit smaller than this one, and we were walking around, and Sean Bennett, the president of Oil and Gas, was walking me around, and he's pointing me out and saying, this is a Democrat, this is a Democrat, and he's telling everyone this, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And they like they've never seen a Democrat before. So this one guy comes up to me, and he actually pokes me, and he goes, well, I thought you guys had red tails and horns. So afterwards, the speaker got up, and it was an impromptu, and he spoke. Well, all of a sudden, they said, well, we want to hear from this Democrat. Point him up there. Get him up there. We want to hear what he has to say. So I'm a little bit of a smart aleck, and I couldn't resist. So I got up there, and as I look at everybody, I look around the room, and I said, my comrades. And then after that, the one guy who poked me, I heard him scream, I knew it! But really, I just really do want to say thank you. I think that's the essence, and what I told them is what we need to look at and what's changing. I think from my first terms down in Columbus, there was a lot of partisanship down there, but we're starting to see changes, and the relationships that we've been able to form, and having Tom down there and friends with the governor, and I used to get teased a lot because I have a good relationship with the governor and a lot with the administration. But now my Democrat friends come up to me and say, how do we get this relationship? How do we be more bipartisan? Cliff Rosenberger, who's the new speaker, has really reached out, and we're starting to see a lot of more bipartisanship. I think every bill that has passed unanimously out of the House or been very close. Actually, it's been more of the Republicans voting against their own bills than I think the Democrats. And I think that's important, and that's what we need to foster. That's what we need to continue. And I really want to thank the Chamber, because those relationships with what Tom has been able to do has really been helpful, and it's been helpful for the Valley. And we've been able to give our Valley a strong voice in Columbus. And I want to thank Tony Paglia and Sarah Boyocca and my good friend Guy Coviello. The Chamber's put together one heck of a team, and when I bring businesses, I say, go see the Chamber. Talk to the Chamber, let's work together, and we've been able to do that, and we've been able to get businesses like TMK IPSCO into Brookfield, and they produce high-paying jobs. And it's a win-win when we all work together, and that's what we got to continue. So with this award, I want to say thank you very much, and I appreciate it, and I want to thank all of you for all that you do for our Valley. I know it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative O'Brien, again, for all of your hard work and your dedication to the Valley. The people in this community are going to realize those results for a long time to come. Can we please have another round of applause for all of our award recipients? I also want to note that we have some proclamations for our recipients today, and they are from Ohio Governor John Kasich, Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor, U.S. Senator Rob Portman, and U.S. Congressman Bill Johnson. In a few minutes, I'm going to call on the Regional Chamber's leader of 18 years to look back on 2014 and provide some insight into what has gone on and what will be happening in the year to come. My association with the Chamber has been very enlightening, and I have been impressed beyond anything I actually imagined I would be. The amount of work that they put into everything that they do is impressive, and it's productive. And I am happy to be a part of it, and I hope you all can grasp what it is that they are doing to bring prosperity to this valley. So before we hear from Tom, I would like to direct your attention to the screen for a look at what our team has accomplished in this past year. We first showed this at our economic forecast breakfast and in early February, and we've been showing it at our Good Morning breakfast events since. But we always like to replay it here in case you've not seen it, and just to reiterate some of the developments that have come forth. So please enjoy.
Youngstown is strategically well positioned to service not just the Utica and the Marcellus, but also the Bakken in North Dakota.
We found a property at Ward that meets our business needs.
Just working with the Chamber in terms of the marketing is invaluable.
The Valley is a more vibrant community. Businesses are thriving. Now the city is really coming alive.
Once vacant buildings downtown are beginning to take shape.
There's a lot going on in the Mahoning Valley.
Most of the jobs being created in our area are permanent, good-paying jobs.
New companies are coming to town. Our local firms are growing and jobs being created.
Without the regional chamber, this task would have been very, very difficult.
The turnaround is part of a transformation spreading across the heartland of a nation. The area has benefited from prominent investments in manufacturing and the developing Utica Shale.
We've caught the attention of business people and the news media around the United States and around the world.
We created our first Manufacturing Innovation Institute in Youngstown. After the launch of the initiative in 3D printing, the world turned its attention to Youngstown.
We're mastering 3D printing.
News outlets like the New York Times have noted the revitalization that the region has experienced. The city is now featured in an average of 600 stories per year.
Our shops and restaurants are always busy. Our economy is growing.
Forbes magazine named the metro area as the 5th best in the country for raising a family.
Good, great job. Better than I've had in a long time. This was a huge step up.
The Regional Chamber provides excellent points of contact for throughout the expansion process.
The incentives offered to us really helped our investments.
Our project team worked side by side with the Regional Chamber team to find just the right fit here in the Ward area.
Then to be part of an organization that's growing in this area in manufacturing, I couldn't be prouder.
Seeing the revitalization that has occurred is so impressive. Our valley is booming.
Youngstown was the perfect fit. It's not just an affordable area. There are so many opportunities here.
Industry, business, commerce, and so they all make up a part of our community.
They're not ghost towns anymore. You actually have to go in reverse to find a parking spot downtown.
We've seen our area become a strong manufacturing and industrial center once again. There's a great workforce here.
Youngstown is leading an economic trend that should be encouraged.
It's just a special thing to come to work every day to a thriving organization that we do, we're looking forward, we're looking at what's next. And to do that here in this area is phenomenal.
And ladies and gentlemen, to give us more insight into the accomplishments of the Chamber, Mr. Tom Humphreys.
Thank you, Marty. This is always one meeting that I really, truly look forward to spending time with you. If I could, first of all, I want to extend my personal thanks to Pete Simikopoulos. Pete and I we're meeting about every 2 weeks to talk about things that we were dealing with and looking for advice and guidance from him. And he's been really a great partner, friend, and leader to me. So I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to you, Pete. And if I could, too, when Pete and I had lunch with Marty Bushy last summer, and we got her in a corner so she couldn't leave, and Pete sat on one side and I sat on the other to talk to Marty about providing us the leadership for this year and possibly 2 years. And her willingness to step forward and to dig in has really, really been appreciated. And frankly, I'm blessed to have Marty's leadership and guidance right now, too. And although we might not be able to see face-to-face on certain meetings, but we're on the phone pretty regular because of that, looking for help and support and guidance. And I really look forward to this year and possibly next year to work with her. I also want to extend my congratulations to Attorney Winger, Coach Pelini, and Representative O'Brien. I've had the privilege to work with Attorney Winger on this issue as we've worked our way through the gas and oil challenges, and we've been blessed to have you there at the table. And as you've said in your comments, there's 2 points to every view, and you really do try to make sure that that's demonstrated in those meetings, and I think that's why we've been so successful, thanks to your leadership. And Sean O'Brien and I, we do go back a lot of years before he actually got involved in politics, and so I've had the privilege to work with Sean, and frankly, Uncle Paul, too. I just call him Paul. I never knew I was supposed to call him Uncle. And I'll see Paul tonight at the air base when we have our meeting. But Sean is a relentless individual who is fighting for the right things, the right reasons here in the Valley. And he really, truly has earned a very strong, positive reputation in Columbus. And I think he represents us extremely well. Today, when I started thinking about 2014, 2015, I thought to myself that it might be better if I try to break down a little bit of our organization, your organization that services the development and our efforts in the community. And what I wanted to do is just take a couple minutes and talk about each one of the units that are within the organization. You saw the video and you heard comments about Sarah Boyarko, who's our Vice President of Economic Development for North America. I pulled a couple numbers out of that video. $126 million in capital investment this past year, 484 new jobs, and 1,245 retention and expansion visits. Her leadership over that unit makes those numbers happen. And if anybody saw the relentless efforts that she puts in to try to make sure that we win when we compete for opportunities, you'll see why we win, because she, in fact, is very tireless. The thing I thought I would pull out of that is, in the video also, was Metelco, which is a Canadian company that committed to Mayor Arno Hill's beautiful community in Lordstown, Ohio, a $100 million facility, and it's Metelco's largest largest United States facility, because they are in fact out of Canada. And then Laird was in that picture as well, and their electronics company that settled in Warren, Ohio. And if you look at their operation, their electronic company that makes remote controls for doors and machinery, and they are out of the UK. The reason I brought that point up is that we've talked a lot about our efforts in international attraction. Both of those companies are not headquartered here. They're headquartered, one in Canada, one in the UK. Sarah has worked this past year with YSU and other economic development leaders within a 10-county area to put together a very strong export initiative that I really believe we've done extremely well over the years, been recognized back in 2009 forward as far as our exporting. But what she's done now to bring those 10 counties together to work, I think will create even greater opportunities for our community and our businesses within the community. And the other thing that I thought I'd just touch a minute on is both of those companies are not shale related. Just about every meeting I go to in a group of people, I'm asked, what's our take on what's going on with shale? And the fact is that it is slow. And when we looked at it back in November, when the prices really started falling, and I checked last night, and it was $43 a barrel last night. When you see that number that low, you can expect challenges within the gas and oil industry. And it's also paired with the fact that the value of the dollar has increased significantly internationally. So both of those play a key role. In our area, my feedback to people that ask me that question is, number one, is they're still building an awful lot of infrastructure. That infrastructure has to get caught up to the wellheads, and that's not there yet. There's a lot of infrastructure to be built. There's crackers that have to be built to process it. Those take years to build, so both of those projects, we see continuation. What has slowed is the wellhead work. But you can also expect that to happen in this industry, and it has a life cycle just like any other industry does. So if you study that, I think you'll see that be true. And the other thing I pointed out recently to the media, and that it wasn't shared, is that if we really look at it, in 2010, nobody was talking about shale. If you look at it today, we have just about $6 billion invested in this region meaning Mahoning, Trumbull County, $6 billion invested, and we've also realized almost 2,000 jobs attached directly to the shale business and 2,000 support jobs. So 5 years ago, we weren't talking about 4,000 jobs in the community, nor were we talking about $6 billion in investment. So I think we're pretty fortunate to be going in to 2015 with that in the portfolio today. And to see what we did last year in the aluminum electronics business, it does say we're getting to the point where we really do have a very diverse economy. One of the areas that Sarah's people bring out very frequently in the retention expansion visit is feedback from the companies in the area regarding education workforce development. And as a result of that, we've looked at trying to address that and more specifically put more time into addressing that. So about a month ago, Nick Santucci joined our team as Manager of Education and Workforce Development. His first task is really to focus more on the Youngstown Warren school districts. And the reason we're focused on those, approximately 30% of all the students in Mahoning County are in the Youngstown City School System. And the same goes with Warren and Trumbull County, almost 30%. And if you take a step back, that's 30% of your human capital in school districts that are challenged. And in some circles, people are saying that they're failing, and they need to be addressed. And I've asked Nick to personally get involved in that, and we're putting a lot of energy and hope to be sharing more over the next few months as we dig into that issue. The other piece is workforce development. We don't have workers. We're getting to the point where people are looking for qualified people to walk into their facility and go to work, and it's becoming more and more of a challenge. As a result of that, we've put together a plan last year, and right now we're out there trying to get it funded with some success, I might add. But what our focus is to try to identify the total jobs in the region. For example, there's 274,000 people that go to work every day in our area, out of about 745,000 in our 5 counties. 5 counties are Trumbull, Mahoning, Columbiana, Lawrence, and Mercer. Of that, the rest of that population needs to be aware of what opportunities we have in the community. And so we're actually doing an inventory of every type of job we have in the market. And our purpose and goal is to be able to share that information with those people that train that workforce, so they know how many nurses, how many machinists, how many welders, how many service technicians that you need, so that we can start to identify those numbers and be able to share it on a broader level with the people that do the training as well as our population, so they know what jobs they might be able to apply for. The other thing that we're doing in that area is to work with Ohio Means Jobs, which is the old one-stop service. We're working with employers, trying to get the employers to work through Ohio Means Jobs. We're asking Ohio Means Jobs to do 3 things with every applicant. And that is, we want them skill test, we want the drug test, and we want a background check before they refer them on to the employer that's seeking employees. That way the employer needs to look at whether or not they fit the culture of that company, they truly have the skills level, or they can train them for that level. But we need to tee that up so that the employer has a better success rate of those people that are coming in the front door. And Nick will be helping us with that as well. In government affairs, Sean mentioned that Tony Paglia retired last year, and Guy Coviella took that on. There's 2 significant issues that Guy's looking at this year. One deals with the capital budget. 2 years ago, when we saw the capital budget come out of the state, the governor asked the chambers or economic development groups in Ohio in the metro areas to lead that discussion. So we partnered with the Port Authority and we partnered with Eastgate to work through the projects for economic development that we had opportunities to try to get funding for. Pretty successful. We could do a lot better, and that's why Guy's really working out there trying to get more projects through government, townships, cities, and villages and counties to give us that information so that we can try to do a little better in getting more money. The second piece is the education component, and the universities collaborated together and handled that unit unto themselves. The arts community was a little bit challenged. It was not quite as functional as the other 2 units, and so Guy has spent a lot of time working with the arts community in both Trumbull and Mahoning County, trying to get focus on what art projects we have, because there are significant dollars in the capital budget that we have a chance to get. The second effort that Guy is leading is a bit of a challenge, and that is to work with the political leaders. That would be Mark Monroe and and Randy Law from the Republican Party in Trumbull Mahoning, and Dave Beatrice and Dan Polifka, the Democrat Party, to try to find more qualified political leadership. We just recognized Sean, so obviously we're really getting some good political leadership, but we feel that we need more. And all four of those party leaders agreed with us. So we've reached out to Youngstown State and the political group up there and with the political leadership to start discussions on how can we help the communities surface political leadership that we can all be proud of. The Regional Chamber Foundation, an organization that really helps fund a lot of what we do. If you look at the annual report, you'll see it's around 8% of funding comes through the foundation. And that's led by John Rossi, who's the president of the foundation. And John's worked with us for a couple years. And he not only is helping to put the plan together to help us raise more dollars through the foundation, he's also maintained two responsibilities that he's led the charge on for the last 2 years. One is the 422 corridor, working with Valorec and the companies on 422 up to Salt Springs Road and from Route 80 down to the Madison Expressway. So he's partnering with Trumbull County Planning Commission, the mayors of both Girard and Youngstown, the Youngstown Neighborhood Association, and together, collectively, we've been able to put together a $150,000 plan, and we're in the implementation stages now of that plan. The goal actually is we've realized about a $1.2 billion investment by Valorec in that area. And the thought is that we need to clean the rest of that property up so that we can bring other companies into that area that supports that industry and has potential goals for themselves in other markets, but it would be a very prime location for industry. The second thing that, or the third thing that John's working on is the Eastern Ohio Military Affairs Commission. That's the effort of trying right now to focus on the air base. And if you've read the paper this morning, or I was told last night it was on the electronic paper in the Vindicator last night, where our partner, the Port Authority, committed $75,000, $25,000 a year for 3 years to help us fund that initiative. We've been funding it ourselves through the chamber for the last few years and with some help from the Trumbull County Community Foundation. But our goal is actually to focus on the military assets. There's about $186 million that comes off that facility into the community, and we've seen some erosion over the last 5 or 6 years at that facility to the point where we've gone down to 8 planes. And our goal is to try to stop that bleeding and to try to be prepared in 2017 if the next BRAC report comes out of Congress. The goal, again, is to look at all the military assets because they're not the only asset. We also have Camp Ravenna, and we have arsenals in the Youngstown market that we should be looking at. All of that as an economic driver to the community and needs the attention. And so thanks to the Port Authority, and we are working with the Community Foundation and Trumbull 100 right now, hoping to seek additional support. With that, our financial group is led by CFO Angela Neely. And Angela and I have spent a fair amount of time this last year starting to build models where you actually look project specific so that we can help John Rossi as we go looking at foundations to help us get work done in the community where we can actually do financing project specific so that it's a clear picture and vision for those people that might be interested in specific efforts that we have ongoing. And before I get into the marketing and events, there is a very short video that I wanted to introduce to you, and then I'll finish up my remarks.
it's so important to be a member of the Chamber because you're meeting people in the local community that could help open doors for you. You have access to every single business in the Mahoning Valley and surrounding areas. It gives us opportunities each and every day so that we could go ahead and get in front of new business owners in the valley to keep all the business here locally and refer each other and help each other grow our businesses.
The thing that I like most about the Ambassador program is, number one, we get to learn the most about the Chamber. We know an awful lot. There's an awful lot there. They offer an awful lot of programs. So from a business standpoint of view, we get to maximize all the different programs that the Chamber offers. One of our taskings is to make sure that, number one, everyone is maximizing their membership through the Chamber. And it's just like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. However, knowing exactly which programs to utilize, depending whether if you're a business-to-business style of setup or if you're a business consumer, can become confusing. So they have us to be able to reach out to all of those different members and help them navigate through all these programs and help put a fit for the program that would be best suited for that given business.
What Chamber Energy Solutions does is the benefit of your membership of getting something back and saving yourself some money. Here's an example. One of Fin Feather Fur locations has seen a savings of over $800 within the first 5 months of the enrollment on their electric program. Fin Feather and Fur is also enrolled on our gas program. In the past 5 months, we have saved them approximately $1,100 compared to the apples-to-apples average cost.
I love the power luncheons. I try to go to all of them. I've gotten to meet a lot of great people, stay in the loop about what's going on in the local business community. Personally, I've met with a lot of people after meeting them at power luncheons just to discuss various things. So they're definitely beneficial, to meet new contacts, to get business, and they're a ton of fun. And every time we go, we're supporting a local restaurant. So it's a great time, and I definitely recommend them.
Just a few quick notes before we close regarding the efforts. You saw, and it was mentioned that we did 600, or I'm sorry, we realized 600 articles across North America and the globe this past year. We are focusing this year on trying to insert ourselves into that opportunity where right now those 600 articles have come from various things that are going on in the community. We want to start to collect those a little bit more and try to get a message out. So we've been partnering, and we've brought some partners to the table already. We're the Better Business Bureau, the Builders Association, and a few others have already stepped up to help us get that effort going forward. So I think you'll see some good things come out of that. The event area, I'm really proud of what we're doing right now. We're really focusing on the smaller community so that we're doing events in the community that we can bring the business community there and the political leadership there. And we get a chance to sit down and talk to them about what we're doing so that we can get them more engaged in the economic development efforts and the assets that they might have, that we can share that more with other people. And then the last piece of it, the board was made aware very recently that we are looking at the Kim Calvert, who's been leading our marketing efforts, Vice President of Marketing and Business Services. And I've asked Kim, we've got a lot of things that we want to get done in the marketing area, and because her plate is so full, I've asked to split that job. And she's agreed with that, and what we've done is we've taken the events and the marketing efforts that we have in media contact and put those together for Kim. And we're out seeking a vice president of sales and service, because we really want to focus on expanding our footprint and our size of our organization. You saw one of the lines perhaps at the top of the film that showed that we are the third largest chamber in Ohio. We continue to be the third largest chamber in Ohio. And we want to continue that. And so we have a membership event scheduled for the first part of May to try to help us bring together in 2 days 250 new members. And then, of course, our sales team, we expect to see about 350 sales this year on their part. And we normally have a cycle of about 400 members a year that come and go. And so our goal is to see that number get up to about 2,700 this year from 2,500. And I think that we will be able to do that. And it's been said a couple times, I really get the credit for this team's work because I stand before you and express what they're doing, but it is they that are doing it. And I've got a great team that I work with, and frankly, I have a great board to work with too. It might seem that 28 people on a board might be onerous, but I have to tell you, there are 28 very positioned people in our community at very high level and offer significant feedback. And our executive committee, who I work very close with, about 7 people that are on the executive committee, are some of the best people and best leaders that I've ever worked with. And I've been blessed not only with a solid staff, but a board that I've been able to work with for, as mentioned, 18 years is a long time. But we are going in the right direction. But none of that is not possible unless it were for people like yourself in this room. You help us make the difference. What you're doing in your companies, what you do to support us, I can guarantee you we would not be where we're at if it were not for every single person sitting in this room doing their piece of pulling that chain up the hill, not trying to push it. We're pulling it up the hill. We're getting where we need to go. And I just want to extend my thanks to you. I bring the meeting to a close, but I always tell everybody, God bless you and keep you, and thank you for your help. Have a good day, everybody.